Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, hello everyone. I'm Kharisma Adhi Sanjaya, and today in this video, I am going to give you a review about articles that I have read. There are 10 articles and focusing on listening comprehension skills. And it is about how to teach students, especially to develop their listening skills with some kind of methods, approach, and aspect. So let's go jump to the discussion. And the first articles that I want to tell you about is this article, Evaluating Listening and Speaking Skills in a Mobile Game-Based Learning Environment with Situational Context. Briefly, the study investigates the effectiveness of mobile game-based learning environment designed to improve the listening and speaking skills of learners. It utilizes situational context within the game to provide practical implementation or practical and interactive language learning experience. And the focus or the main idea of the study is that it explores how mobile game-based learning, particularly with situational context, can enhance the listening and speaking skills of language learners. And what kind of game? Well, teachers can try to adapt it with their own needs based on their background. And the strengths or the main things that comes from this study is that it lies the innovative approach to language learning through mobile games, providing a practical and engaging learning environment that can potentially lead to better learning outcomes. Um, when talking about the relation, this study's focus on technology-enhanced learning environments is relevant to the article of technology-enhanced task-based language teaching, which also explored about the impact of technology on language learning. In short, that this article is related to this one. Yes, effects of technology enhance task-based language teaching on learners' listening comprehension and speaking performance. How can it so related? Well, briefly, also, this article talks about the impact of technology enhanced task-based language teaching, or people often call it TBLT. That's the abbreviation. And on the listening comprehension and speaking performance of language learners, it examines the effectiveness of integrating technology into TBLT. Okay, the main idea of this article is that it evaluates how the integration of technology in task-based language teaching can enhance learners' listening and speaking skills. And the main usefulness of the study is that it lies in an empirical approach to assessing the effectiveness of technology in language teaching, providing concrete evidence of its benefits. And next, we have this article. It is Insights into Listening Comprehension Problems, a case study in Vietnam. In short, this article talks about how listening comprehension problems faced by 11th grade students in Vietnam. It categorized these problems into perception, parsing, and utilization issues. The main things come from this study is that it highlights the various factors that hinder listening comprehension among Vietnamese high school students and to provide insight into how these challenges can be addressed. So one thing that is the strongest from the article is the argument or the fact that it's detailed analysis of the specific listening comprehension problems. And it provides valuable insights for educators to improve their teaching strategy. And moreover, this article is relevant to the study on the impact of cultural background on listening comprehension, as both explore the difficulties faced by students in understanding spoken language and provide insight into improving listening skills. And next up, we have this articles, the impact of cultural background on listening comprehension of Saudi EFL students, or English for foreign language. Okay, this study examines how cultural background influences the listening comprehension abilities of Saudi students as a foreign language, learning English as a foreign language. It considers factors and to identify strategies to mitigate its negative impact on Saudi EFL students. and The strength of it is that the studies focus on the cultural aspects of language learning, providing a comprehensive view of how cultural differences can affect listening comprehension. And this study complements the insight from the Vietnamese case to the study by exploring another dimension of listening comprehension problems, specifically cultural influences. It also aligns with the study of technology enhanced task-based language teaching by suggesting that culturally adaptive teaching methods. So these four articles are related to each other as they support each other arguments, but in kind of different dimension or field. And the next, we have this article titled Students' Perception Towards the Use of Jukes Application to Improve Students' Pronunciation. So we are coming to the real practice here by mentioning one specific application. It is Jukes, which is Jukes. The main ideas of the articles is that the impact of regional accents. Indonesian students' regional accents influence their English pronunciation, just like before. We have talked about how cultural background can affect it. And the second one is perceived difficulties. Many students find pronunciation challenging. And next is role of technology. Application like Jukes can aid in improving pronunciation, though feature such as lyrics. So, though it comes more to the pronunciation itself, that the article also contains about how it also improves someone's listening. Because if you listen to Jukes, I mean, if you use Jukes, Jukes is actually a music application just like Spotify, but it's not that familiar to people maybe. So of course, there you need to improve. Of course, you need to listen to the music offered by this application, and that way, of course, you can improve your listening skill as well. And okay, the relation to other articles is about technological influence on education. The article aligns with previous research by Mandasari and Octaviani in 2018, and the articles that I have mentioned before about TBLT, as they both are talking about how technology can affect and give influence to listening comprehension. And at this point, it is more to application and practice until it produces something. It is the speaking and talking form as the pronunciation. Okay, next is the impact of using Instagram for increasing vocabulary and listening skills. It also trying getting deeper into some specific aspect. We have this article mentioned a specific application which is Instagram and how it can improve someone's vocabulary and listening skills in English. Okay, the main idea of the article is that it discusses how Instagram, a popular social media platform, can be utilized as an effective tool to enhance vocabulary and listening skills in English language learners by leveraging various features and content types available on Instagram, such as caption, videos, and IGTV or Reels. And students can engage in more interactive and enjoyable learning experience outside traditional classroom setting because the content Instagram offers people sometimes it kind of exciting and interesting for them to watch, and it follows also the algorithm of what things that we like the most on Instagram. In relation to the other articles, is that of again in technological aspect. So this article is in line with numerous studies and articles that emphasize the integration of technology in education. It's like TBLT before. Okay, next, the seventh articles we are going to discuss is that the implementation of interactive multimedia learning materials in teaching listening. Like the main idea of the studies, the two, is that this investigates the effectiveness of interactive multimedia learning materials, specifically using Wondershare Quiz Creator, compared to traditional audio materials in teaching English listening skills to college students. The study aimed to determine if there was a significant difference in the listening skill outcomes between the two teaching methods. Okay, so for this one, focusing on the multimedia teaching listening skill, English teaching listening skills, and therefore the relation, of course, again and again with the technological aspect of it. It is how this article trying to find out what. is the impact or the correlation between technology if it is adapted to our to this field, to education field, and specifically in listening comprehension. Okay, the eighth articles that we're going to talk about is that the implementation of usage of YouTube media on listening ability of English students during the COVID-19 pandemic. Still talking about listening ability, but this one has a really detailed and specific period of time. It's talking about the COVID-19 period back then on 2019 and 2020. So how this article tried to deliver the material is that by trying to evaluate the effectiveness of using YouTube as a medium for teaching English listening skills to university students during the COVID-19 pandemic. As we all know that when COVID-19 hit, all of us were quarantine, all of us were like in a cage, so none of us can get out, and therefore we need some tools to help us still gaining and developing our skills. And YouTube is one of them. And this article is giving the providing the proof of it. The relation of this article is, of course, again and again, it's talking about the TBLT. It's how technology-based language teaching effective teaching, technology-based language teaching, how teaching is supported by technology. Okay, next, we have this listening skill of autistic students in learning English through total physical response. This article has a very limited target, and but the impact is, of course, not that small. It focuses on autistic students, especially on autistic teacher who teach people as students that autist. Uh, and on these articles, it tells people how total physical response using gestures of our body to deliver the materials can improve their listening comprehension for autists. I believe that this article is very helpful, and this is what we need to give a very fairness among people, not only focusing on those who are born in normal condition. This article really cares about those disabilities, those people that have limited access to their body. And that's why I love this article the most. And the next, the last one, we have this article, the talking about the use of audio-lingual method in teaching listening comprehension at the second year students of SMK Yapip Makassar Sungguminasa. So this article comes from Indonesia, but referred in English, of course. And the main idea of the text is that it explores the challenges vocational school students face in listening comprehension and how the audio-lingual teaching method can address these challenges. It discusses the importance of listening as a skill in language learning, the difficulties students encounter, and the use of audio-lingual methods to enhance students' ability to understand word meanings and textual content through structured teaching approaches. So basically, this article mentioned one particular method that's audio-lingual and its usefulness to improve someone's or students' listening comprehension. It's kind of different with the previous one, where the previous article using total physical response and having a very total different target students, but both of them are basically the same at some cases. They both talking about how a method that has been created by some experts in the past can be used very effectively in today's era when we want to teach them listening. And even some of them talk about the usefulness, the benefit when it is used to certain people with special needs, like artists. Okay, I think that's all from me. The discussion between the 10 articles that I have read, and thank you very much for your attention until now. That's all from me. Sorry for the mistakes, and goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.